How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It's World War Prime, and I'm here to brought you about Chicago. That's right, Chicago. Chicago is going to be at war soon. I'm telling you straight up. This is the prophecy of the 400-year prophecy that was mentioned in the Bible about black people, Israelites going back into slavery. And this is actually the first step of that. And then you got the FEMA camps. Okay, UN, I believe, is connected to FEMA in some form, phase, or facet. I'm not sure, but the 400-year prophecy is at hand. Okay, and when I'm talking about the 400-year prophecies, this is when black people are subjugated to a lot of mayhem. A lot of mayhem because of their transgressions, their carelessness, and their foolishness that actually rose to the Most High, and He saw it, and now Israel is going to have to pay like they used to pay back in damn near slavery. Now they got the UN going into. In Chicago. This is not the National Guard. Alright? This is not the National Guard. This is not police. This is the UN. The UN has literal huge tanks. UN has the best of every weaponry there is. The UN are foreign dignitaries that's coming into Chicago to let me rephrase that. Coming into a safari and shooting little animals in the woods. Foreign dignitaries from countries that probably don't like black people anyway. Now that Chicago has run them up, now that Chicago has gone astray, now that Chicago has made a name for themselves that they wanted, they say Chicago was badass, they say Chicago was this, they say Chicago was that. Now they got the UN up there behind. UN, this is the first time in history that the UN ever set foot on American soil. To actually start peacekeeping. And I find that very disturbing because the simple fact is I do little news overseas, and these cats do some crazy stuff. Okay? These cats do some crazy stuff. In your face stuff. They'll knock over your stuff. They'll destroy it. They'll do things that cops don't even think about doing. Okay? And it's going to be a war zone. It's going to be a war zone in Chicago and no black communities. And you know what's funny? They said St. Louis is next. St. Louis is going to be next. Then Baltimore. And then maybe Orlando, Texas, Houston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York, New Jersey, okay, LA, San Francisco, no, not San Francisco. Why is these cities so darn important? Because that's where most black people are. And as simple as that, they're going to occupy all these cities. And they're going, these are foreign dignitaries. They don't know exactly what America is supposed to be doing. And it's like a foreign country attacking America. They trying to take over America. And black people in this new world order they putting on, it's going to be the footstools of the new world order, like the Germans, like the Jews was to the Germans. All going to be footstools. Okay, and it's ridiculous. And I told people this a long time ago, and I'm not saying exactly this because I couldn't couldn't actually know exactly what was going to happen, but I gave him a time frame, and they didn't believe me. I just sat down there and just watched the news, watched what's going on around the world, and so forth and so on. You have Libya. Libya is over there collecting their slaves and throwing them in slavery. They already purchasing slaves over in Libya. Okay. This is going to be a different kind of enslavement, I believe. They are going to put us in concentration camps. Okay, and soon, at first, it will be the gang members and so forth and so on. But you know what happens? It overspills over to regular black folk. It's not funny. I'm just saying. It's going to be a difficult time. And after these peacekeepers do enough damage, and the cops do enough damage, and enough of these organizations do enough damage to the black nations, the black nation will get sympathy and while throughout the world. And then after that, after they break loose from this terrorism, they will return back to the land. Because they realize that was the only way they could ensure peace for their descendants. Okay? It's the only way. Okay? And it's as simple as that. And then black people going to get in their mind and say, we got to go by our own, we got to do our own thing. Because black people are being targeted. And they ain't pick St. Louis for nothing. They in Chicago, and all of a sudden, they just say, hey, St. Louis is next. St. Louis is another area where violence are at, where they're starving our people from jobs, starving our people from jobs, opportunities, destroying the schools. I'm telling you, and sooner or later they will get to the church. Matter of fact, they probably won't get to the church because the church is federally sponsored by them. But the schools, the opportunities, all these lack of areas promotes crime. Schools and opportunities, jobs. Take those away, you'll get crime. You give them a lot of money at first. I'm not saying right now, but I'm talking about the drug game. You give them a lot of money at first. Let them love that money. Let them enjoy that money. Let them do crime. Let them have their leaders and stuff like that. And after a while, take the leaders away, throw them in jail, and now you have a bunch of juveniles running crazy in Chicago, shooting up everything. Little cliques or some shit like that. They're shooting up people for corners and little baggies that they're not making no money off of. They ain't even making no money off of even to get a car or pay your bills. They're just selling drugs in Chicago to buy pants or a jacket. I remember the day when you were selling drugs, you had everything paid. You looked good. You had a car. But nowadays, these little cats think they know something. They don't got no leadership. They have no organization, and they selling out there on the corner and killing people for pants and jackets. And they're hungry as motherfucker. They're hungry. They're hungry. They're not eating. They're not eating like our generation ate. They are starving out there. And they're all minstrel kid children. They are minstrel children. God told you in the Bible not to have sex during your menstrual. Well, women do that shit. They do that. And you wonder why you got all these little kids out here shooting and gunning everything down. Murdering people for no darn reason other than a weird stare. God said a menstrual woman should produce monsters. That's what the Bible says. And what we got right here, monsters. Up in Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore. All these cities will be occupied. Houston will be occupied. Florida, Orlando will be occupied. LA will be occupied. I don't know LA ain't be occupied because the simple fact is the Mexicans out there is driving black people out of LA. Okay? But most of the black cities will be occupied by UN peacekeepers. And they will have the latest weaponry. They will have the latest tech. They will barge down your door without a warrant. Okay? They're already passing laws to do away with warrants. That is madness in my opinion. They actually have to knock on your door and say, we have a warrant, let us in. Now all they could do is barge right into your door, inside your house, and stuff like that. Soon, the Constitution will be eradicated because the UN is taking over. The UN has no really connection to the Constitution because the UN is a foreign dignitary organization. Okay, and it's as simple as that. Alright, they're already trying to destroy the Constitution. I mean, when you get stopped by a cop or shit like that, you talk about constitutional rights, these cats get angry when they hear that. They don't want to hear no Constitution, they don't want to hear nothing. They just want your license, registration, and stuff like that. You start preaching about the Constitution, all holy hell breaks loose. There's a real problem in America. America's soul has been snatched out of her. And we don't know what the heck this is. The church ain't combating this crap. Okay? You go to church, do your thing, whatever. But it won't combat this crap. This crap is insane in this country. And we got churches all over the place and it's not doing a damn thing. Alright? But the prophecy is true. 400 years of prophecy, down to the inch when it will begin. Not that we're going to be out of the United States. It's when we start waking up to get out of the United States. That's what God was talking about in the 400-year prophecy. When the thing was going to happen. When black people decide, well, we gotta get on land, we gotta get on this, we gotta think about our history, we gotta get back to our original religion when we've prospered. Throughout Christianity, we have been enslaved. Only 50 years of freedom, and they think that's some justification to justify and certify this religion. Madness. It's a religion that was given to us by somebody else that we don't even know their religion. Now we don't know. I don't know why we even deal with it. But back to Chicago, it's gonna be menacing, and I'm gonna be on a police band. You know what I'm saying? Mine's in Chicago when these UN peacekeepers come in, because the simple fact is these cats are on a different level of insanity. This is Main Blash. This is World War Prime. Signing off.